at the National Assembly on Monday. The Statistician General Nyakasi Sanyang has stressed the importance of data in monitoring development targets such as the National Development Plan and the Global Sustainable Development Goals. The Food Safety and Quality Authority and partners organized a day-long validation forum of the draft groundnut regulations. The final of the National Spelling Bee competition organized by the Salimatu Foundation for Education was held on Saturday at the Ebunja Theatre in Kanifing. In business news, we have the foreign exchange rates from the Central Bank of the Gambia for the 11th to the 17th of September 2023. Those were the news headlines, and now the news in detail. Welcome and thank you for joining us. This is QTV News. The Finance and Public Accounts Committee tabled its report on the COVID-19 and other matters before lawmakers on Monday. As Aliou Cisse tells us, the report revealed serious irregularities in financial management worth millions of dollars within government institutions.
In a 98-page report read by Honorable Elijah S. Dabo, the National Assembly member for Brikama North, who doubles as the chairperson of the 9-member Finance and Public Accounts Committee, the committee's findings and observations point to serious financial misappropriation and lack of evidence for expenditures worth millions by ministries, departments, agencies, and area councils. Despite the Accountant General's Department allocating $27 million as of 31st October 2020 in relation to the transportation and distribution of COVID-19 food aid, the committee's findings reveals, among other things, lapses in the identification process of households, as 11 villages in CRR were not registered and therefore did not benefit from the relief package. Also, from the review by the auditors of the stock balances report prepared by the regional coordinators, it was observed that there were undistributed food items at some of the distribution points at the West Coast regional stores. This, the committee believes, suggests that some procured food items were either not supplied by the supplier or not taken to distribution points.
The committee further recommends that the Executive Director of the National Disaster Management Agency must account for all the remaining stock balances within 10 days.
The committee's findings uncovered an unpresented payment voucher of $1,650,000 for allowances to frontline workers was missing. According to the report, neither the Accountant General nor the agencies could provide this documentation despite several attempts by the auditors. It also noted that some staff included in the payment attachment list did not receive allowances.
The committee concludes that based on the evidence obtained by the auditors, adequate and appropriate evidence was not presented by the Ministry of Health to substantiate the payment of allowance to some frontline workers. These were lapses in the internal control discrepancies noted might not be addressed and funds might be diverted.
According to the FPAC's report, a total of $199,979,708 was spent on procurement and the usage of quarantine centers facilities without conducting needs assessment. The auditors requested evidence of need assessment carried out at the initial stage of any procurement activity, but was not provided. The committee also detected a difference of $7,821,105 between the fund disbursed to GT Board for onward payment to the beneficiaries and actual payments made to beneficiaries. No explanation was provided to the auditors to account for the difference. On environment approval, a review of ministries, departments, and agencies files at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs by the auditors revealed that environments amounting to $67,960,644 were made between and across budget entities.
Failure to present information on budget and on budgetary process. This was an issue that was also highlighted by the auditors, and you can see the list in the report. And the next one was on presented cash activity reports on program-based budgeting, was an issue raised by the auditors.
The committee resolved that ministries, departments, and agencies that have not prepared or submitted their financial statements up to 2020 will have only their budget allocations for salaries and utilities considered. Members joined the committee in calling for the full implementation of its recommendation to promote transparency and accountability. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
At a two-day training on Tuesday to develop the third national strategy for the development and implementation of national statistics from 2024 to 2028, the Statistician General Nyakasi Sanyang stressed the importance of data in monitoring development targets such as the National Development Plan and the Global Sustainable Development Goals. Ansumane Sonyasi has more.
This forum, comprising key stakeholders, is expected to, over the next 2 days, develop a framework that will guide the implementation of the country's recently developed national strategy for the creation of reliable statistics in line with the Recovery-Focused National Development Plan 2023-2027, the African Union Agenda 2063, amongst others. Data strategies such as this one are crucial for measuring progress of development goals and provide essential information about the effectiveness of policies and programs. Hence, the Statistician General Nyakasi Sanyang's call for close stakeholder collaboration. He also highlights development challenges relating to reliable data, such as identified weaknesses with the Statistics Act, which is currently under review, and the need to meet increasing national statistics needs for the design, implementation, and monitoring of development programs.
We believe in using the holistic approach, as I mentioned, that if the capacity of GWOS alone is built and others are left, it will not help us in any way. We want all of us to be at the same level in terms of understanding the tools, in terms of understanding statistical operations, methodologies, and anything that is related to our job. And the Bureau of Statistics will do everything possible to support others in this.
In addition, he also calls for better coordination between stakeholders to help reinforce gains registered in recent years. Philip Gafeshi, whose organization Paris 21 supported this two-day training, also highlights the importance of statistics to development. He says that without statistics, it's difficult to achieve sustainable development. And while giving assurances of Paris 21 support to the GBOS and the implementation of the National Statistics Strategy, he implores stakeholders to work closely together.
We are just starting the work, and the work is the implementation. So the implementation of this strategy is not for GBOS only. It's for the national statistical system with the coordination of GBOS.
Acquiring reliable and timely data for research and development purposes remains a challenge in the Gambia. Hence, this 2 days training to help address data challenges. GBOS officials also hope that once the act currently under review comes into force, it will help provide legal basis to adequately respond to statistical needs and address coordination of national data ecosystem. Ansumane Sonyasi for QTV News.
The Food Safety and Quality Authority and partners organized a day-long validation forum of the draft groundnut regulations to enhance the groundnut value chain. Julden Jai reports.
The Food and Agriculture Organization and the World Health Organization launched the Codex Trust Fund in 2014 to support developing countries' meaningful participation in the Codex activities. Through the Food Safety and Quality Authority, the Gambia was awarded the Codex Trust Fund to, among other things, develop regulations for food commodities of national interest. As such, the authority initiated groundnut regulations using a multi-stakeholder approach. Mahmoud Oba, Director General of the Food Safety and Quality Authority, says they are starting with groundnuts because it is one of the highest risk commodity due to the microtoxics it contains.
We believe that with the regulation of groundnut and promoting high level of compliance to the regulations will not only increase the safety of the commodity in the country for consumption, but also will increase the market value of the groundnut so that it will open up new markets for export.
Agriculture contributes about 30% of the country's gross domestic product, of which groundnut is the highest contributor. Over the years, the country's groundnut export declined, making the country to lose its ranking among the top groundnut exporters due to aflatoxin, a crop disease that emerged in 2013. The contamination of aflatoxin has affected 60% of the groundnut that is produced in the Gambia. Dr. Faimane, aflatoxin expert, spoke of the impact of aflatoxin in the overall production and productivity of groundnuts.
The EU and the world market has stipulated limits to the contamination level. But in the Gambia, the contamination is usually very high, up to 100 parts per billion, and this is quite significant. The contamination of aflatoxin is influenced by poor production practices and poor handling of the produce during processing, transportation, storage, and marketing.
Dr. Mane says the impact of aflatoxins can be mitigated through good agricultural practices. Dr. Mustafa Sisi, FAO Deputy Country Representative, commended the FAO and the Ministry of Agriculture for promoting the use of AflaSafe, a biochemical control product that can be applied to maize or groundnut fields to reduce aflatoxin contamination.
The Ministry of Agriculture, through the Department of Agriculture, is spearheading one country, one product initiative. And the product in this instance is groundnut. So this is just to tell you at the level of FAO and the government of the Gambia how important groundnut is.
Dr. Cisse implores on the stakeholders to critically scrutinize the document as it will be the guideline for the groundnut sector of the Gambia. For QTV News, I am Julden Yai.
From that report by Julden Jai, it will take us to a commercial break, and when we return, we still have some more local news stories. Do stay tuned.
waaw du gis ngeen daw si ba mu amee sikki sàkkane armante mi dañoo wecci ay cafkaam ba ñu ko ubbilee siwo bi ba xet gi dugg ko cam billahi la mu yëg bari na armante ñaar fukki at ak nangam ba mu ne cëpp ci réew mi ba tey mësula wecci doxalin mësula wecci cafka bu leen ci am benn ñaari xel man mii di jaay lépp luy produit gi armante rek am naa ko am na 500 millilitres 1000 millilitres ak 5 kilo ba noppi nag am 750 ml bi nga xam ne mi ngi toj réew mi gis nga armante Eva Protect Milk bi mooy mos dolli te armante spaghetti bii ngay gis moo dàq ci spaghetti yi gis nga armante bottom margarine bi noonu la gënee ci yow mi nga xamante ne yaa ngi jaay tàngane ci Johnson bi comme bi fi armante la dugal sa waa ñoddi sa kombe bi gis ngeen lii sardañ la da nga gis boobu jën bi dafa neex gis nga meew ko ndig mil bii armante ko fi indi moom mi dafa sakkan xoolal xale bii nu muy naanee banana milk bi gis ngeen flamingo oil bii dem leen ci bépp boutique bépp supermarket ci bépp marché armante ki prodogam kenn mënu koo ceeñ armante ba ndax moo di good quality food.
Welcome back, and thank you very much for joining us. This is QTV News. The final of the National Spelling Bee competition organized by the Salimatu Foundation for Education was held on Saturday at the Ebunja Theatre in Kanifing. Lena E. Igwenyiba attended and filed this report.
The highly contested National Spelling Bee Championship saw 37 participants from all 7 regions competing in junior and senior categories. The competition culminated in the selection of 6 winners, 3 from each category, who will represent the Gambia at the 6th season of the African Spelling Bee, to be held in Addis Ababa in Ethiopia from November 26 to December 2, 2023. This championship in Ethiopia will host over 22 African countries to vie for the coveted title of African Spelling Bee Champion. Salimatu Fati, the founder of the Salimatu Foundation for Education, emphasized that the primary goal of the competition is to enhance the quality of education and advance the academic performance of students.
We are actually organizing it to help boost the education system of the Gambia, to improve the quality education of the Gambia, and as well as to help the kids develop on their critical thinking skills, their reading skills, and as well as their public speaking skills, the confidence and everything that has to do with in advancement of their academic career.
Male S. Sabali, the Principal Education Officer at the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, MOPSI, underscored the importance of the Spelling Bee competitions.
Spelling Bee competition helps improves cognitive skills. That is our thinking skills. Cognitive skills are those that your brain uses to think, read, remember, learn, reason, and pay attention. Spelling Bee helps your child learn how to break down huge words and spell them the correct manner, while training for Spelling Bee students learn about word roots and origins. They delve deeper into understanding the meaning and grammatical function of words. In fact, a champion speller can spell a word they have never seen before.
Esa Marong, Principal Assistant Secretary at MOPSI, representing the Permanent Secretary, commended the Salimatu Foundation for Education for spearheading this remarkable initiative.
We are delighted and deeply grateful to Salimatu Foundation for Education for spearheading this amazing initiative, the National Spelling Bee Finals. These competitions not only showcase the linguistics prophecies of our young, brilliant students, but also instills in them a passion for learning and excellence. On behalf of the Permanent Secretary and the entire management of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, I applaud the founder of Salimatu Foundation for Education and his management for their tireless efforts in promoting education and for their dedication to creating a positive impact in our education landscape.
Among the 6 students selected, Seyduna Muhammad Dabo from the Kanifing municipality emerged as the senior category champion, while Mohamed Barrow from the West Coast region was victorious in the junior category. Initiatives like Spelling Bee competitions can play a pivotal role in the Gambia's educational system by offering participants an opportunity to compete beyond the national level, raising their awareness and engage with peers from across the continent. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Gwenyiba.
Following public outcry by the people, particularly residents of Bundung, regarding the lack of water supply in Bundung, Mauritania and Bundung Central, Suleiman Jame, the National Assembly member for the area, said much progress has been made to address the issue. He spoke with Aliou Cisse, and here's an excerpt.
Yes, basically so far so good. When they came to my house and they were able to at least showcase their frustration concerning the water issue. So I decided to equally listen to them and respond to them. But thank God, the following few days, I went back to them and have a very important engagement with them to engage them based on some of the updates that we had. So I was opportune to be able to meet the president when he came to the Bundung police, and we discussed about the issue of water. And in fact, thank God, the people of Bundung came out, to show to the president that definitely water is an issue, which is an issue. Even myself, I'm affected. But so far, so good. When I spoke to the president, he assured me that definitely he's going to engage NAWEC very well, and which he did. And NAWEC decided to call me with the ministry. The PS and the director of NAWEC, they came and we had a presentation, PowerPoint presentation, and also we discussed at length, and we decided to come to a conclusion that we are going to identify a particular area suitable to at least dig a borehole there so that it can be connected to their network. Maybe if that happens, it will boost the pressure of the water system in Bundung.
And at a personal level, as a National Assembly member, what other plans do you have to address the issue of the water in Bundung?
Yes, so far so good. In fact, well before this thing, part of my own effort and the plans that we had as a community, we've surveyed almost about 25 community homes for possible community standpipe with these NAWEC types. But at the same time also, after this protest by the women, When I went back to them to discuss with them, to give them the update, I decided to inform them that now let them organize themselves, identify a particular location and where I can give them a borehole. So which is part of my plan. And in fact, it's not going to remain, it's not going to be that borehole alone. As far as my people are affected with water, I am also I will not sit and just wait for NAWEC, but I will also do my best to see how best I can collaborate with partners and donors and at my level also to at least try to get them a water. But borehole is something that I just have to do. But left to me, my intention was to give them community standpipe because we don't want people to walk in Bundung almost 150 to 200 meters without water.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for your time.
Welcome.
64 children graduated on Saturday after completing 6 weeks of swimming lessons given by Swim for Life Gambia. As we hear in this report by Ansumana Esonyasi, parents who were impressed with their children's swimming techniques called on other parents to enroll their children for free swimming lessons.
This is the 8th edition of the Swim for Life Summer Swimming Skills Training. The organization was formed by colleagues and friends of the late sports journalist Lamin Dabo, formerly of Foroyaa newspaper, who tragically drowned after his vehicle plunged into the river from the ferry at Barra Ferry Terminal in 2010. Determined to ensure that no one suffers their late colleague's fate, they embarked on a journey to equip young people with lifelong swimming skills. Since then, hundreds of people have benefited from what is now an annual summer training camp for school children. This group consists of 64 children within the ages of 6 to 16. At this graduation ceremony, their trainers demonstrate various swimming techniques followed by the graduates. Coordinators Wagan Fai and Vicente Gomez thanked their partners and parents for supporting them and urged members of the public to endeavor to learn how to swim, as it is not just a sport but a life-saving activity.
Sunday, to be more specific, you'll find thousands of people in around the sea. A lot of them actually swimming. And I can assure you, of those that are in the water that you would find on any given day in the water, a good percentage of them cannot swim.
So I just want to urge all of us to please invest more in our children. Advocacy is very good, but action is better, and positive action is the best.
Lead trainer Musa Kamara and Jenaba Sise, a parent, said learning to swim is important as it promotes water safety, adding that in the Gambia, almost 9 out of every 10 Gambians reportedly cannot swim. This, they say, is quite worrying and more the reason why parents should enroll their children in swimming lessons like this one. They also want the swimming training to be held regularly.
And with the help of God, we have started in peace, and today we are also ending in peace. I will return my thanks to the parents, and I will still return my trust to the parents. One heart, one love, our doors are always open.
Get our own community center, which we don't have in the Gambia, which I've noticed. We don't have any community swimming pool. It is important. So this is a special plea to everyone who is involved, especially the Ministry of Sports. Get involved. Help our children. Help the parents. We all love to swim, but importantly, we want our children to swim.
9-year-old Halima from the UK is one of several graduates who expressed gratitude to Swim for Life Gambia for giving them what she described as life-saving techniques. There were several other speakers, including Anita Dumbuya, the only female trainer who also demonstrated various swimming techniques. At the end of the ceremony, participants were awarded certificates and the most outstanding students received gifts. Ansumana Esonyasi for KTV News.
From swimming now to business news. In business news, money matters. The Central Bank of the Gambia has released the following official interbank foreign exchange rates for evaluation purposes, applicable from the 11th to the 17th of September 2023. Here are the rates.
The Central Bank of the Gambia has released the following official interbank foreign exchange rates for valuation purposes, applicable from the 11th of September to the 17th of September 2023. The rates are as follows. $1 US, $60 Cs, 43 batuts. 1 euro, $66 26 batuts. 1 British pound, $75 74 batuts. 1 Swiss franc, $65 48 batuts. 5,000 CFA franc, $485 63 batuts. 100 Swedish krona, $541 82 batuts. 100 Norwegian krona, $543 35 batuts. 100 Danish kron, $867 13 batuts. West African unit of account currency, $80 53 batuts. That is the end of the official interbank foreign exchange rate valuation from the Central Bank of the Gambia from the period 11th September to the 17th of September 2023. Adel Dele Campbell reporting for QTV News.
Now, before we end this news bulletin, here is a recap of our main news headlines. The Finance and Public Accounts Committee tabled its report on the COVID-19 and other matters before lawmakers on Monday at the National Assembly. The Statistician General, Nyakasi Sanyang, has stressed the importance of data in monitoring development targets such as the National Development Plan and the Sustainable Development Goals. The Food Safety and Quality Authority and partners organized a day-long validation forum of the draft groundnut regulations. The final of the National Spelling Bee competition organized by the Salimatu Foundation for Education was held on Saturday at the Ebunja Theatre in Kanifing. In business news, we brought you the foreign exchange rates from the Central Bank of the Gambia from the 11th to the 17th of September 2023. That's all we have time for in this bulletin of the news. Thank you very much for watching, and that's it for tonight. Join us again at 10.